This is the best way to detoxify aluminum from your body. And no, I'm not crazy. I will tell you why. So first off, I feel like this video is gonna get no views, but I feel like it's a very important video nonetheless. Dr. Dennis Croce wrote a book about essentially treating and curing Alzheimer's as his mom developed Alzheimer's, and it just got worse and worse. And this was the case for 10 years. He really wanted to find a cure, a solution. And so he looked everywhere. He looked at studies, he looked at antidotes, he looked at more mystical things to try to find a cure for Alzheimer's. And he took an evidence-based approach. And so eventually he came up with a game plan of supplements, behaviors, exercises, and most importantly, a mineral called silica, which can actually bind to aluminum in the body and increase its excretion rate. And so he implemented this game plan to his mom and noticed significant improvements where before she would forget her sons and daughters' names and wouldn't recognize them, but now she was driving around. Now she was reading books. Now she would correct herself in a conversation if she used the wrong word or misspoke. So there was a significant difference. And this all comes from silica, which is what Fiji water has in abundance. So if we make broad statements and we look at neurodegenerative conditions, usually they're majorly caused by one or two aspects and minorly caused by half a dozen or so. So if we look at Parkinson's, it's majorly caused by chemical exposure, as Parkinson's is degeneration and destruction of dopamine neurons in the basal ganglia, leading to a hypodopaminergic state. And this is caused by chemical exposure through one way or another. So a significant one that people might not know about is a chemical that's used in dry cleaning called trichloroethanol, which was shown in a 2012 study to increase Parkinson's risk by 500% in a twin study, which is crazy. And then even just a study that came out recently, it showed that people that live close to golf courses had higher rates of Parkinson's, significantly so. And they just assume that it's from pesticide exposure. This can definitely be the case where pesticides, erroneous chemicals, there's thousands of chemicals that get approved by the FDA every single year that have never been tested in the human body. So it's things like that generally for Parkinson's. But for Alzheimer's, it's either A, type 3 diabetes, where it's a metabolic dysfunction within the brain, or B, it's high amounts of aluminum. So there's a few graphs on screen just showing the connection of the increased use of aluminum or the increased levels of aluminum in brain tissue found from Alzheimer's patients during autopsies, or even the increased levels of aluminum found in tap water. Aluminum is one of the most reactive chemicals out there, where it can accumulate in our brain tissue and cause accelerated aging, neuron loss, and if it goes to other parts of the body, and cause significant autoimmune issues. So not good whatsoever. And honestly, it's kind of tough to get out of the body unless you drink Fiji water, where it can bind to aluminum and increase its excretion in the urine and the sweat. And so if you're implementing this, it could be a good idea to implement like a sauna routine as well, as that will just increase the effects more and more. So you could take like niacin or niacinamide prior, and then afterwards take activated charcoal and reduced glutathione to bind to the things that you're excreting, as well as to upregulate your antioxidant defense system within your body. In a study of 12 patients that they did this with, I understand it's 12 patients, like don't sue me, but they noticed a significant difference where 3 of the patients made a significant improvement and 9 others stayed the same. So it kind of obeys the Hippocratic oath of first do no harm. So in 12 weeks, this was the experience that they noticed after drinking 1.5 liters of Fiji water a day. Sounds great, and it's kind of an easy solution, which is definitely what you want. So another one off the top of my head is tamarind with excreting fluoride from your body, or iodine and excreting fluoride from your body, as some chemicals and minerals are antagonistic towards each other and they can increase the excretion of one another. And so realistically, this is an easy thing to do. It's an easy breezy thing that anybody can realistically do, which is great. And that's really what you want, as you want to make the change easy and effective. And it is kind of expensive. Like this will probably run you around $100 monthly for a couple months if you run the experiment. And that is definitely an investment, and that is definitely some money. But if you compare that to having a heavy, high load of aluminum in your tissues that is slowly and acutely poisoning you and your brain for the long term, it definitely adds out, as it's just an investment within yourself. And everyone has heavy metals to some capacity, you know, with an asterisk, like most people do. So I experimented with this for a couple months. Honestly, I never noticed anything super impactful from it. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. Maybe I am fairly young and I don't have high levels of aluminum in my body. Maybe it was something else. It also wasn't a controlled experiment where there were other erroneous variables, such as me experimenting with other nootropics and supplements, stuff like that. So I didn't really notice too much from taking it for a month, but there is the evidence, the science behind it, so you can definitely try it out, see if you notice a significant difference. He usually recommends take 1 to 1.5 liters. It is in a plastic bottle, which isn't ideal, except it's better than having levels of aluminum in your body. So if you do like the little cost benefit analysis, transient plastic exposure is better than like semi-permanent levels of aluminum within your body. So definitely a little trade-off there. He also recommends to avoid aluminum cans, cookware containing deodorants, baking powder, as he says it's all contaminated with aluminum, processed food because there's higher rates of aluminum, tap water because it has aluminum within it, artificial colored food or so, just because of that too. So essentially just eat healthy, use like a cast iron pan, don't have like cans, use glass when you can, and kind of just roll with that. And check out this video where I talk about iodine, how it can increase your intelligence, improve your bodily health, and see it's super